Good afternoon. I'd like to call this Water Authority meeting to order. I call this January 24th, 2018 meeting of the Albuquerque Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority to order. Vice Chair O'Malley is unable to attend tonight's meeting, but her alternate is Commissioner Stebbins. Thanks for being here. Mayor Keller is also unable to attend this meeting, and his alternate for tonight is Councillor Gibson. So, hey, Councillor Gibson. All other members are joining us as I speak. So I'd like to welcome two new members, Commissioner Quesada and Commissioner Talbert. So welcome aboard to the Water Authority. So I'm sure you've already talked to everybody and everybody's had an opportunity to introduce themselves. So we're going to start off with item 2, a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and move up item 10A and 10B. This is the election of officers under other business. We are going to start off with the nominations for the chair. So, and this is OB 18-1, election of officers. So I guess we do it individually, correct? So if there's any nominations for the chair, I'd like to actually nominate Commissioner Quesada. I think the city did it this time. I know that it's officially, we do not have to take turns. So, but I'll nominate Commissioner Quesada. There's a second. There's a motion, a second to nominate Commissioner Quesada. Are there any other nominations from the floor?
Madam Chair.
Hey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to nominate Councilor Trudy Jones.
Oh, second. So, so we have 2 nominations this evening. Are there any other nominations? I don't know if we do officially by Robert's Rule of Order. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing no other nominations, we have 2 candidates. And how do we proceed from here? Do we just vote all those in favor of the first nomination?
Madam Chair, you could do it in the order of the nomination, or we could have a roll call vote.
Okay, we can do a roll call.
That's why we do it at the city anyway.
Okay.
Is that okay, Madam Chair?
Sounds good. Councillor Gibson.
Thank you. I'll vote for Councillor Jones.
Councilor Jones.
Councillor Jones.
Commissioner Quesada.
Councillor Jones.
Commissioner Quesada.
Commissioner Quesada.
So we have a new chair, and that is Councillor Jones. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I don't know if we switched chairs, or I think we're probably in the right spot. So let me hand over. I don't know if you have an extra copy of the agenda, or I'll just hand over my copy. Want to?
Sure.
This one's, okay.
Just give me a second. I believe the next order would be to elect a vice chair.
Yes.
So do I hear any
Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Debbie O'Malley.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for Commissioner O'Malley. Are there any other nominations? Seeing no others, I would ask for a vote of acclamation. All those in favor of Commissioner O'Malley, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Commissioner O'Malley is now the vice chair. And now I'm going to read and see where I am. Thank you all, and thanks for joining us this evening. I make a motion to approve the November 16th, 2017 minutes. Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? There's a motion and a second to approve the November 16th, 2017 minutes. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then we get into... Thank you so much.
This is an updated one, so we have these 2 items.
Oh, I didn't get that one. This is fun. This is where we recognize Counselor Pena for her year as Chair of the Water Authority, and for Commissioner Debbie O'Malley for her service as Vice Chair. And I'm confident this is for Counselor Pena. Counselor Pena is Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, Counselor O'Malley. Even though you're not here, you've served us well. We appreciate it, Commissioner O'Malley. So next is the water report, and we're going to hear from Dave Hill, who is the Chair of the Technical Advisory Committee, or TCAC, as we like to call you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am honored to have the opportunity to speak to you about the Technical Customer Advisory Committee in 2017. I am the past chair and current vice chair for the committee. Today, I will report to you about our analysis of the rate structure, our participation in customer consultation meetings, the utilities education program, discussions of various site trips, and I will conclude with the water conservation plan and upcoming activities in 2018. Early in the year, we tackled rate structure for both water and wastewater. We reviewed different rate structures and analysis of variations of fixed monthly charges versus commodity rates. In April, we recommended to the board to approve the rate structure that we believe achieves long-term financials and service reliability, and I think more importantly, continues to promote conservation here in the Water Utility Authority. Through our study, we learned about the utilities' use of smart meters, and it was our recommendation that in the next rate structure, the city and the county utilize the smart meters in the data. Throughout the year, we went to customer conservation meetings. A committee member attended each of the customer conservation meetings, listening to input from the customers on the water authority's levels of service. The meetings were well run and presented. Customers provided input on several indicators related to reliability, quality, and customer service. Overall, committee members were impressed with the utility's performance and customer participation in these meetings. It is our understanding that the utility will be utilizing the information gathered in these meetings to update the operation and asset management plan for next year, or next years. We also learned about the education program that the utility is doing. And we as committee members had an opportunity to participate in the education activities. And quite frankly, I was very impressed with the activities, and I'm amazed how they can convey to the youth of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County the use of water here in Albuquerque. In addition, we toured the water reclamation plant, the aquifer storage recovery project at the water plant, and we gained a firsthand knowledge of how the water reclamation plant works. I personally was impressed at the way they could take gravel, sand, and good Lord only knows what else in the water and convert it into potable water that can be delivered to the river. Also, we learned that the utility is utilizing this water for the reclamation program throughout the city. In addition, we had a presentation on how the utility is working with the USGS to monitor aquifer storage and the changes in the aquifer. Obviously, it is very important here in Albuquerque to monitor and accurately determine what the aquifer storage is doing, and we are impressed with this utility's proactive methodology of working with USGS. The Water Conservation Plan. We reviewed and provided recommendations to the Water Conservation Plan. This plan will receive more public input over 4 scheduled meetings around the service area in 2018. The plan will actually be introduced at your February board meeting, and we are recommending the board approves the plan. Overall, we like the proposed changes in outdoor education, water efficiency, rebates in order to achieve new conservation goals of 110 gallons per, I can't remember what it is, GPCD, basically per person. How's that? by 2037, a very impressive goal. In 2018, we are looking forward to helping the Water Authority implement the 2120 Water Plan, a 100-year plan proposed by the City of Albuquerque and Bernalillo County. Personally, I am impressed with the utility that has the foresight to plan for the next 100 years. Basically, I bet this has become a utility standard started here in Bernalillo County and the City of Albuquerque. We will be reviewing environmental issues, groundwater management, and water reuse plans. It is my understanding we will tackle the challenges to the water supply change methodology. Not exactly sure what that means, but so far in everything I've done with the utility, they've been very good about explaining to a layman like myself what exactly is going on. The utility staff is very impressive in how they can take a complex issue and make it understandable. We'll finish off with the year with a review of the updated asset management plan, and as always, committee members will be attending the future customer conversation meetings. Overall, the TCAT committee is very impressed with the Water Utility Authority, and we believe they are doing a great job. We appreciate the opportunity to give you this report, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Hill, and thank you for your service. I know it takes a lot of hours, and thanks to everyone on the committee. Are there any questions of Mr. Hill? Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda, we have proclamations and awards. This is the quarterly Employee Incentive Awards. And I'd like to ask, I see some of you are here, obviously. We don't usually have this bigger crowd. If the employee is here to receive the award, would you please come forward when your name is called? And I believe you're going to get money and maybe something else. So the first one is Jeffrey Riley. Jeffrey is receiving $75. Jeff is recognized for going above and beyond in providing expertise and assistance in upgrading the controls for the new sludge dewatering facility. Isn't that one exciting? The next is Priscilla Stevens. Priscilla is receiving $100. She is recognized for volunteering to test and provide in-depth feedback regarding the Water Authority's mobile app. Larry Larson, Dennis Baldonado, and Marshall Seabay. They each get $200 plus 4 hours time off each. These individuals are recognized for saving our customers an estimated $61,000 in contractor labor costs by undertaking a complex overhaul of a 15,000 horsepower cogeneration engine at the Southside Water Reclamation Plant. I can't believe they're not here. They're probably taking off one of their hours already. I'm not sure, but thank you. Sophia Augustine. Sophia is receiving $200. She's recognized for being top call taker for the quarter in customer service, completing 3,834 calls in a 3-month period with an excellent average hold time. Thank you, Sophia. Joaquin Zamora and Joshua Doyle will each receive $250 plus 4 hours. Thomas Quintana and Justin Britell each receive $200. These individuals are recognized for their great work in converting all Albuquerque School District water meters to AMI compatibility in less than 6 months. Juan Steen, $75. Juan is recognized for his willingness to take on additional tasks, including extra maintenance and troubleshooting, to ensure service levels are maintained at the Water Quality Laboratory. Thank you, Juan. Joe Chacon is receiving $300 plus 8 hours. Joe is recognized for going above and beyond in his efforts to troubleshoot valve location issues in the wake of a main break on Tramway Boulevard, and for the research he did that avoided a potential expensive claim against the Water Authority and minimized service interruptions. Thank you, Joe. Andrew Montoya, Patricia Sullivan, Jude Gourlay, and Jesse Padilla each receive $100. These employees are recognized for completing a large compost order for the state of New Mexico. Wow, more than 8,400 tons in record-breaking time. Naomi Gamboa, $300 and 4 hours. Naomi is recognized for identifying and researching a billing discrepancy from a vendor, potentially saving customers more than $22,000. Thank you. Daniel Perez, $75. Daniel is recognized for coming in on days off to help train employees working to earn their commercial driver's licenses, saving the Water Authority $1,800 in education fees. Lawrence Armour, $300 plus 8 hours. Lawrence is recognized for developing a new and innovative workflow processes to assist laboratory analysts at Water Quality Laboratory and to reduce data entry errors. Stephen Creek, Amy Ashton, and Marion Luna, $50 each. These employees are recognized for their above and beyond efforts to undertake failure analyses and improve the performance of the blower systems at the Southside Water Reclamation Plant. Mark Elim, or Elam, I'm sure I murdered that one, $75. Mark is recognized for his willingness to take on increasingly complex tasks and responsibilities in his role as groundwater planner schedule. Jeremy Sains, $75. Jeremy is recognized for taking the initiative in creating a position transition plan when he was reassigned. This type of plan has become a standard for knowledge transfer. Ivan Cortez, $100. Ivan is recognized for researching possible causes and finding a solution to persistent problems with the equipment of the Kiva pump station. Bruce Green. Bruce is recognized for volunteering to develop an equipment, shelving, and storage system to improve efficiency and safety at the Southside Water Reclamation Plant. Bruce is receiving $50. Nick Romero, $50. Nick is recognized for troubleshooting problems with the North Pretreatment Facility at the Southside Water Reclamation Plant, improving odor control at the plant. Leah Gaynor, $75. Leah is recognized for troubleshooting and implementing new workflow processes to assist laboratory analysts with the transfer of data from analytical instrumentation. Martin Luisana, Moses Mondragon, and Joseph Herrera Hernandez, $50 each. These individuals are recognized for saving ratepayers almost $5,000 by undertaking a fence replacement project that normally would have gone to a contractor. Anissa Pennington Pink, Blythe Mireles, Geraldine Moreno, Nadine Castanado, Kent DeGreuter, $100 each. These employees are recognized for their excellent cross-divisional teamwork in streamlining an antiquated customer service refund procedure. Julie Garcia and Ramona Plas, $50. Julie and Mona are recognized for their tireless work on benefits billing for employees out on unpaid FMLA or other unpaid leave status. Thank you all. You are what make this Water Authority the great place to work and the wonderful service that it is. Thank you all. We would like for you to come up and let us congratulate you, if you would, please. Thank you. That's an impressive bunch of people, and I have to tell the people who are watching at home, the Water Authority people are absolutely some of the best that we have in the state, I'm sure. They are very unselfish and do a great deal of work for all of us, so thank you all. The next on the agenda, we have public comment. I think, Ms. Carrion, how many do we have signed up?
We have 3.
We have 3. So each speaker will have 3 minutes. You'll have 3 minutes to speak with a warning at 2.5 minutes. If you'd call the first speaker, please.
Mike Nees, followed by Stephen Versincher.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Mike Neese. I live in Placitas, New Mexico. I am a Water Utility Authority bill payer and water customer. I'm here to call your attention to a Water Protection Advisory Board letter that was issued approximately 1 year ago. It's I believe you have a copy in front of you. The Water Utility Authority was established by joint ordinance of the city and the county. This is not a lame duck advisory board. They are tasked, the purpose of the Water Protection Advisory Board is to advise the Water Authority, the city, and the county on surface and groundwater protection concerns, oversee water quality protection policy and action plan, promote the consistency of agency efforts to protect the surface and groundwater quality, and to advocate effective protection of surface and groundwater quality. The Water Protection Advisory Board actually is above the executive director and directly beneath the governing board on the organizational chart. The Water Protection Advisory Board also oversees the Water Quality Protection Policy and Action Plan, and the mission of that plan is to ensure the quality of our surface water and groundwater resources so that public health, quality and life, and economic vitality of this and future generations are not diminished. On the second page of the recommendation, at the very bottom, the last sentence, it says, "We believe that taking a proactive position on this issue and having regulations in place before any future oil and gas exploration and development activities begin will benefit all citizens and the environment of Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque." Just above that, on the top of that page, there's a bullet point that says, that I need to call your attention to, that says there is a real but low probability risk of contamination to the water supply, which can be minimized by proper design, installation, and completion of wells. The presentation that the Water Protection Advisory Board received and convinced them to put that bullet point in there was with regard to vertical hydraulic fracturing. There is almost no vertical hydraulic fracturing anymore. It's all horizontal fracturing, and that technology has changed everything. I urge you to please do not let this
Thank
letter
you.
die on the shelf.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I may, Mr. Sanchez, I know at an earlier meeting at the end of last year, this board passed a resolution asking for a report on threats to our aquifer and our water. I know we've talked about this offline, but I wonder if you could help us give an update on the status of that report for the folks following along at home.
Certainly, Madam Chair, Councilor Davis, this body passed a resolution requesting that we engage a consultant to compile a report which would inventory existing contamination and potential sources for contamination in and around Bernalillo County. We're in the process of doing that. We expect that report to be completed in the next 30 to 60 days. It'll be conveyed to the Water Protection Advisory Board and to this body.
Yes, Commissioner Casina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Has there been a prior study? I know you're doing a new study, but is there one that we can look at now?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Casada, there has been a series of inventories, if you will, of existing contamination sites, but it has not been updated in some time. So the direction from the board was to update that. Okay, well, I can provide you, if you'd like that, sure.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Welcome, sir.
I actually bicycled all those sites. Anyway, good afternoon, Madam Chair and the members of the council as well as commissioners. My name is Stephen Verchinsky. I'm the Green Party, the Albuquerque Metropolitan Area Chair, and I'm asking you today for the Water Utility Authority to work to get a basin delineated water protection zone. The problem is that we have oil and gas drilling and fracking posing a threat to the long-term beneficial use of water. Contamination threats can occur to resources such as fisheries, wildlife, other beings. The state constitution under Article 16, Irrigation and Water Rights, Section 3 states that, quote, the beneficial use shall be the basis to measure and the limit of the right to the use of water. To provide protection for land commons, the long-term beneficial use, surface uses anywhere where the toxic spills or accidents may occur poses an unacceptable risk to the state's constitutionally protected waters. Most notably here in the Rio Grande Rift, that is the Rio Grande. The surface area of concern was delineated by the New Mexico's Office of the State Engineer in the Rio Grande Basin in the document Middle Rio Grande Administrative Area Guidelines for the Review of Water Rights Applications by Thomas Turney, the State Engineer, in September 2000. The discussion for you would be as follows. This approach of a surface zone water use overlay zone was already done administratively for water quantity counting by the Office of the State Engineer, who did this in 2000. This administrative area recognizes that the basin aquifer consisting of the Santa Fe group geologically, by the USGS, by the way, and I have part of their report here, and overlain with still younger geologic alluvial deposits is known, and this is a key point for you, it's hydrologically connected to the Rio Grande surface water system, and that then makes it a city, a county, surface area zoning concern, okay? Beneficial use then is predicated on keeping both the quantity and quality of the administrative area, and that has not been done by the counties. In fact, as a matter of oversight, the Office of State Engineer is not consulted for concurrence for any state of New Mexico Oil and Gas Conservation Division applications, for example. You would think that this would be something of a concern by all the counties. So the solution that I asked for you to do, and if I might have a moment just to wrap, is the logical idea of using the delineated basin area that's already there, that's already given by USGS, and the Office of the State Engineer as a public trust issue that you can go ahead and ask for the counties as well as the city to at least, at the very least, protect this zone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the next speaker?
Elaine Hubbard is our last speaker.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good afternoon. My name is Elaine Hibbard, and welcome new members, bye old members. It's good to see you after a 2-month hiatus. Thankfully for all of us, the water utility stays hard at work all year round. So don't water issues. And my purpose in providing comment is to provide some ideas, some suggestions, some thoughts, squeezed into 2 or 3 minutes from a passionate and knowledgeable member of the public. Many water-related challenges face us this year. Since October 1st, we have received 0.07 inches of rain. Our yards, our trees are thirsty. Snowpack numbers are dismal, even after the most recent storm. And projections, such as those that were presented at the MRGCD meeting this week, do not bode well for anything but a dry year. I would have hoped that that would be in the water report in item 10B. It should be up on the web so that the customers can always be seeing that kind of information. But a larger question is this a drought? Or is it simply a matter of the changing climatic situation that we have been experiencing? We are facing legal challenges as well New Mexico, in the lower Rio Grande. So that's not, though, limited just to them for the impacts of that. Should Texas win, quote, New Mexico could owe $1 billion or more in damages and be forced to curtail groundwater pumping from places like Hatch, Las Cruces, and Mesilla, end quote. Where will that kind of money come from? Albuquerque? And consider what the Natural Resources and Water Committee Chair, Senator Joseph Cervantes, said. Texas is also demanding a greater delivery of water to the reservoir itself, which is water that's going to have to come from upstream of Elephant Butte, end quote. More water from upstream? We worked really hard with our colleagues, the ABCWA, MRGCD, the OSC, and all of these other acronyms, to barely deliver enough water under the compact at the end of December. How will this coordination continue? What were the stresses of the lawsuit and the climatic changes? What my suggestions would be to have a water budget that we can all agree to, groundwater, surface water for the region, but it's even more important that we work together. I would suggest an adaptation plan, and finally, just really realizing that we are in this together. So focusing on resiliency. Thank you.
That concludes our speakers. Our next scheduled meeting will be February 28th, 2018 at 4 p.m. for a closed meeting on pending litigation and 5 p.m. for the regular meeting in the Vincent E. Griego Chambers. There are 4 scheduled meetings in February on updating water conservation plan as planned for the Water 2120 plan. February 6th, which is a Tuesday, at the Manzano Mesa Multi-Generational Center, which is at 501 Elizabeth Southeast. That will be at 6 p.m. February 8th, on a Thursday, at the Holiday Park Community Center, 11710 Comanche Northeast, at 6 p.m. February 13th, which is a Tuesday, at Don Newton Taylor Ranch Community Center, 4900 Kachina Northwest, at 6 p.m. And February 15th, Thursday, at Patrick J. Baca Library, 8081 Central Southwest, again at 6 p.m. We hope you can attend. So let's begin with the introduction of the first reading of legislation. That would be R 18-6, Amendment to the Approved Operating and Capital Implementation Program of the Water Authority for fiscal year 18. And I think Mr. Allred's going to do this for us. Good evening.
Madam Chairman and members of the board, what you have before you is a resolution for amendment to our existing FY18 operating CIP budget. It consists of 4 changes. Through our FY17 audit, we had been booking franchise fee and franchise fee revenue and franchise fees expense on our financials. These costs are basically a pass-through, so we collect those from the customers and pass those through either the Bernalillo County, the city of Albuquerque, or the village of Los Ranchos. So they've asked us to just take them off our financial statements. We track them on the balance sheet, but to take those balances off of the financials. So that's what we're doing here. Number 2 is we have about $10 million in our rate reserve fund. In the rate ordinance, we put away $2 million a year for a in the rate reserve fund to basically use for a rainy day in case rates and consumption levels go down. That level is now at $10 million. We have started a project covering the clarifiers at our reclamation plant to control odor controls. We are going to move $3 million of that reserve to CIP to start phase 1 of that project. As part of an agreement also we had with the Bernalillo County, we reached agreement with $1.4 million, $1,450,000 to do work on Los Padillos water pipeline project. And we're going to go ahead and appropriate that amount in Fund 629, which is our capital improvement fund. And we also, the last part is we got a reimbursement from Kirtland Air Force Base for some pumps that we helped them or wells that we helped them drill. They gave us $533,000. We've got that money. We're going to appropriate in CIP to work on the aquifer storage and recovery programs. And I stand for any questions.
Madam Chair.
Yes, are there any questions? Commissioner Hart-Stebbins.
Thank you. What is Fund 29?
Fund 28 is the capital program for all our rehab projects, and I apologize, I should have already said this a little more clearly. Fund 29 is our growth projects for capital implementation programs. So those are like our MIS programs, programs for like our reclamation projects for conservation, anything where we're trying to grow our system. We get utility expansion charges as people connect our system. And as we add capacity to our system, a lot of those projects are paid out of that. One of the big things paid out of that is our development agreements we have with the developers for no net expense. As we collect those UECs, we reimburse the developers based on those agreements, those amounts.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilor Davis.
And thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to commend Commissioner Hart-Stebbins in particular and Mr. Sanchez as well. That just over $500,000 reimbursement for those early wells we did on the Kirtland Air Force Base jet fuel spill have been a source of contention with the Air Force for some time. And I have to say, in every meeting, that's been a top priority for the commissioner to get that reimbursement for us and for our ratepayers, because it was the right thing to do in that early exploratory piece. And while she's here with us tonight, I just want to give our public acknowledgement for her work to get that done. Her persistence made that a priority in every meeting, and I think it's good to see that we have that now. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Davis. Sometimes we forget about those things. Thank you. Next on the agenda, if there are no more questions, it's the consent agenda. Does anyone have questions about items on the consent agenda? Therefore, I would move approval of the consent agenda. Second. All those in favor of the consent agenda say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 9 is approvals. The first approval is R18-3, which is declaring that former site of Candelaria Well Number 3 is surplus and shall be sold at fair market value. Mr. Sanchez, do you have a presentation?
No presentation, Madam Chair, just simply that it's a very small piece of property that we do not use today, nor do we plan to use in the future. So typically what we do with these parcels is declare them surplus, place a legal ad, allow for bids from the private sector, and sell it at the highest bid.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I would move approval of R18-3.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for R18-3. All those in favor say yes. Yes. Opposed, motion carries. Next is R18-4, which is authorizing the removal of certain uncollectible accounts from the Albuquerque Bernalillo County Utility Authority's accounts receivable records for fiscal year 2013 and prior. Mr. Alred, you get to talk to us again.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, what you have before you is the authorization to write off about $155,000 of uncollectible accounts receivables sitting on in our billing system. A little bit of history. 2005, we used an old antiquated billing system. We converted to a new one. It was called CIS. Now it's called CCNB. We're actually upgrading that system right now. But part of that conversion, we moved all our old accounts receivables over from the old system to the new system. When we normally have receivables we cannot collect, we are allowed to put liens on these properties because we're a premise-based utility, so we built a premise, not a person. So all these accounts receivables were properties that we have tried to collect from over the past few years. We have put liens on those properties. The city of Albuquerque has put liens on those properties for solid waste. They have not paid their property taxes. The state of New Mexico has put liens on these properties for tax purposes as well. So we have tried. They are probably on average over 8 to 10 years old. In the last year or so, some of those swings, the process that I had just talked about, we were able to collect over $200,000 to $300,000 worth of accounts receivables. But these ones are they're over 4 years old. they've passed the statute of limitations per se, as far as going to court to try to receive these receivables. The only way we could really do that is the liens we have on those properties, that as someone went to go sell the property through the, sell that property through a mortgage company, we can maybe collect money then. But they're just so old, and there's been no activity on these residents. So our decision was to write off those balances off our balance sheet. We have booked FY17 an allowance for doubtful accounts of $700,000. So this would be no impact financially. It would not have an impact to our working capital balance. It would offset against the allowance for doubtful accounts that's booked on our balance sheet. And we're just asking for authorization to write off these 36 accounts receivable accounts. And I stand for any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Talbot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Allred, I notice on the graph or the chart you have here, I mean, there are some huge balances on some of these property addresses. Are those businesses or are those residencies? And what is our process in terms of how long do we let them go before we, I mean, I understand we can lien, but $37,000 in water? I mean, that.
Commissioner Talbert and Madam Chairman, this one account is the strip mall on Central. It went out of business. There was a laundromat in that center for a while. It became a solo restaurant that was in that strip mall. We had worked in 2011 with the owner of the restaurant to get a $5,000 down payment on that. We continued to work that. He reneged on that. We talked to the owner of the building. That building is now vacant. That strip mall is now vacant. They have not paid property tax or have not paid taxes over the last 7 years. This again was an account that got brought over from the old billing system. And at this point in time, we wrote a policy and procedures basically about our write-off policies and looking at accounts that are past 4 years old. And these 36 rolled up into that, and that's one of those. And there is some big ones, but that was a strip mall sitting on Central.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Casada.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. So can you kind of walk me through what happens if I was renting a home for a significant amount of time and the renters did not pay their utilities? What's the process? You talked about, putting liens on people's property. I just don't know what that process is, or do you go after those people who own it? And they're really not responsible for it.
Correct. First of all, I would, Commissioner Calzada and Madam Chairman, first of all, I would say is we're a premise-based utility. So in saying that is we build a premise, not a person. So the matter of who, it doesn't really matter. It's really, we're billing the owner of the house. So if the ownership changes on a house, the bill still goes to that premise. So that allows us to put liens on that property. So in an instance for a renter, if they come past due, we send out several notices that they are past due, a late notice. We will send out notices to the customer that we are going to pull their meter. If a homeowner owns a property and he would like the bill to go to his house, we can accommodate in our system too, and they won't bill it to the property. But as it gets older and older, what we do is we tend to continue to reach out to the customer, tell them they have a past due amount. We can pull the meter. We'll work with the customer with a repayment notice. We used to have a lot of accounts that were past due. One of the things back a while, a couple of years, was Commissioner Art de la Cruz. One of the things is that we would wait too long to start trying to collect. So we had moved those balances down when we tried to collect a lot quicker. If someone doesn't pay, then we tell the homeowner, and we work with the county assessor's office. We put a lien on the property to protect our interests, and we continue to try to collect and work with the customer over and over.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And one more, if I I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Casada, I think the key is that if you're an investment property owner, you would typically want the bill to go to your tenant and to yourself, so you know if that bill is in delinquency. Correct.
Mr. Howard, how does this amount of delinquencies compare with what we normally have? Or is this just an unusual batch?
Madam Chairman, this is actually not a very big amount. I mean, when you think about how much revenue we generate off the rates, we generate approximately this year will be about $220 million in rate revenue. We're looking at $144,000 or $155,000 worth of receivables to write off. That's probably well less than 0.5%, even less than that of our total accounts receivable. The customer service group does a very good job working with the customers. We do a very good job of working with customers and doing repayment plans with them and helping them become current. One of the things we will be working on, per the direction of this board, is working with our low-income customers and getting them help with different agencies to help pay their bills when they're in time of trouble, or if someone has a crisis in their family that they need some help, that we'll try to get them that. It's kind of like the Good Neighbor Fund with PNM, where we're going to create a fund like that and track that, try to help those customers as well. So they're always working with our customers, and we're always trying to help them pay their water bills.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Are there any other questions? Yeah, yes, Councilor Gibson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question about you getting back to the liens. Do those liens expire after 4 years, as some other liens do, or after a period of time?
Councilor Gibson and Madam Chairman, they expire every year. We renew those every year. So we refile those with the county assessor's office. Solid waste with the city of Albuquerque does the exact same thing with their solid waste only accounts. So they track those. They file liens on those accounts as well, and we work with them and help them collect those balances as well. Because we do the billing for the city of Albuquerque in regards to solid waste, but they go through the same process. And the same process would be followed by the state of New Mexico or the county of Bernalillo.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. There aren't any other questions. I move approval of R 18-4. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda is item C, R 18-5, authorizing the Albuquerque Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority to submit an application for funding to the Bureau of Reclamation for a Water Smart grant for drought resiliency projects. Ms. Uhas, welcome.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm requesting your approval tonight to apply for a grant from the Bureau of Reclamation for $750,000 over a 3-year period for design and permitting of a connection between our north side and south side reuse systems. This connection is one of the recommended alternatives in Water 2120, excuse me, and would give us flexibility for reuse of wastewater and for aquifer storage and recovery projects in the future. Our financial commitment would be to match the grant, so $750,000 over that 3-year period. And I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I'll move for approval.
There's a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Uhas. And then C 18-4 is the 2018 federal legislative priorities. Mr. Sanchez.
Madam Chair, members of the authority, the list before you is largely the same as last year. Our 2120 plan requires us to begin shifting towards reuse. 2 of the requests for the federal government are the Tijeras Reuse Project, which would be sited adjacent to Kirtland Air Force Base and Mesa del Sol. And the other one is the Bosque Reuse Plant, which would be sited by Coors and Montano. We're seeking $1.5 million to begin the permitting process. These projects are likely a decade or 2 into the future, but unless we begin now, they will never come online. The third project is the to support funding for the Kirtland cleanup, obviously. That's an ongoing issue. The additional one is to support funding for the Sandia Labs mixed waste landfill cleanup. And then we're continuing to work with the Corps of Engineers and ultimately Congress to allow us to store additional water at Albuquerque Reservoir and also native water instead of just surface water. This down the road, a decade or two into the future, will help the Middle Rio Grande with Rio Grande Compact compliance and Endangered Species Act compliance, as well as other uses. And then lastly, to support the Endangered Species Act Collaborative Program. Stand for any questions.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Then I move approval of C 18-4.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Mr. Sanchez, for the 2018 state legislative priorities.
Madam Chair, members of the authority, before you is the list that we would submit to our lobbyist for the session that's ongoing now. The first item is the Los Padillas System Improvement Project for $1.4 million. This is not a capital outlay request. It was submitted as an application to what's called the Water Trust Board, who funds water projects. As you know, this project was begun by about $1.4 million from the county, $250,000 from the Water Authority. This would take it to about 75% completion if we were to receive this. The next request is for the Carnwell wastewater project to begin planning and design of a sewer component to go with the water project that's underway. That's for $37,500. The next request is for the Bosque reuse project to begin permitting there as well. Supporting the NMED federal petroleum storage tank regulations, a review of the governmental gross receipts tax. We send about $7 million a year to the New Mexico Finance Authority as part of our governmental gross receipts taxes that our customers pay. Initially, that was intended to collateralize the lending by that institution. However, you know, decades past, that funding now just kind of sits there. So we're kind of requesting a review of that. It'd be great if we had that funding for our own projects, since we tend not to receive any assistance from the New Mexico Finance Authority. And lastly, to oppose any legislation that negatively affects the Water Authority. Stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Are there questions? Commissioner Quesada.
I just have a comment. You know, thank you so much for what you did for the Los Padillas community and continuing to keep pushing that forward on your agenda. It's a great thing for people who've been waiting a long time for for city water. So I really do appreciate that. I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no more questions, I make a motion to approve C 18-5. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The last agenda item this evening is the approving the recommendation of award for the Air Quality Management Consulting Services RFP. This is C 18-6. Mr. Leder.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the governing board. I'm Charlie Leder. For those of you new to the board, I manage the plant operations group for the Water Authority. Plant operations group is hard at work making sure the water that goes into the pipes meets all regulations, Safe Drinking Water Act regulations, safe to drink. As you watch that water roll down the drain, you wonder, gee, it's a little polluted. Who's going to take care of that? Once again, that's plant operations folks, hard at work, making sure that what we treat at our wastewater plant complies with all pertinent environmental regulations. We're very good at treating water and treating wastewater. We can't be experts in everything, and that's why the subject contract before you allows us to tap into technical expertise regarding air quality management. Why do we worry about that? At the wastewater plant, we have a big cogeneration facility that reliably and cheaply provides power for running the wastewater treatment plant. It has a Title V permit for air quality that's issued by the federal government, and the kind of resources that this contract will provide to us, technical resources, allows us to operate that facility and provide us with the technical guidance we need so that we can do so in compliance with governing statutes. We solicited proposals from qualified firms, and the contract before you is with the preferred firm, Alliant Environmental LLC. Any questions, I'll be happy to take.
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
Do we have any questions? Thank you. And going through your plants is amazing. It's
Thank
like
you,
a
Commissioner.
trip to outer space, kind of. So I make a motion and a second to approve C-18-6. There's a second? There's motion and a second. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? The motion carries.
Great.
Thank you. Is there any other business, councilors, commissioners? Therefore, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.